All right, we're calling the meeting of the Finance Committee to order on November 15th, 2017. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Thank you. Mayor Donchis.
Here.
Alderman Cookson. Alderman Wilshire.
Here.
Alderman O'Brien.
Present.
Alderman Karen.
Here.
Alderman Siegel. And Alderman Clemens is here.
All right, we have a quorum. Public comment. Is there anyone who would like to speak to the committee?
Okay, on Bill R-17-143,
Now, it would help if you just gave us your name and address.
Bonnie Barbera, 5 Birch Ridge Trail, Nashua.
Thank you.
The current personnel assigned to the Senior Activity Center have been an asset to our organization. Their insight and diligence cannot be easily replaced. By deleting this, we can continue with our efforts to bring our services to the many seniors of the city. This will still give the city officials the flexibility to make appointments as needed. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other public comment? If not, communications.
Okay.
Alderman Clemens.
Thank you. Communication from Dan Kuchen, Purchasing Manager, regarding NPD Extra Dry Solutions. I would move to accept, place on file, and award the contract to Hart Halsley LLC DBA Extra Duty Solutions at no cost to the city.
The deputy is here. I don't know. If you want to come up, I'm not sure there'll be any questions, but if so, you just sit at one of the chairs. That'd be great.
Answering questions. Thank you, Mayor.
Ms. Smith. Any questions, comments to the police department? Not. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Alderman Clemens.
From the communication from Dan Kuchen, Purchasing Manager, regarding the purchase of Nashua Police Department bulletproof vests, value $37,995. I would move to accept, place on file, and authorize the purchase from Atlantic Tactical in the amount of $37,995. Funds are available in Department 150 Police, 50% from 2016 and 2017 Bulletproof Vest Partnership Grant, and 50% from NPD Protective Clothing.
Any questions, discussion? Alderman O'Brien.
Yes, I do have one, Mr. Mayor, if I can ask the chief. Coming from the fire background, we have to wear the personal protective clothing, and I think this is highly safer. I want to protect our officers in the duty. Are they mandatory? Do they have to be worn whenever the officer is on patrol?
Yes, they do.
Okay, and that's outstanding. I think that enhances the personal safety. I think that's great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the motion passes.
Okay. Next.
I think that's all you guys have, so thank you for coming in. Alderman Clemens.
Communication from Dan Kuchen regarding purchase of rope equipment replacement, value $46,222. I'd move to accept, place on file, and authorize the purchase from Coastal Fire Systems in the amount of $46,222. Source of funding is Department 152, Fire Department of Homeland Security Assistance to Firefighters Grant.
And we have Deputy of the Fire Department here in case we have questions. Are there any questions or comments? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And motion passes. Alderman Clemens.
Communication from Dan Kuchen regarding purchase of rope replacement hands-on training. I would move to accept, place on file, and authorize the purchase from CNC Fire Training Consultants in the amount of $39,600. Source of funding is Department 152, Fire, Department of Homeland Security Assistance to Firefighters Grant.
Discussion? Questions? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you very much. Have a good night. Alderman Clemens.
Thank you. Communication from Dan Kukin regarding quadrant funds contribution for construction of sidewalk on Northeastern Boulevard, value not to exceed 40,000. I would move to accept, place on file, and award the contract to White Family Ventures LLC for an amount not to exceed $40,000. Funds are available in Department 160, Administration Engineering Trust Fund.
Discussion? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Alderman Clemmons.
Communication from Dan Kukin regarding purchase winter road sand, value $16,000. I'd move to accept, place on file, and authorize the purchase from Granite State Concrete in the amount of $16,000. Source of funding is Department 161 Streets General Fund.
Discussion? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Alderman Clemmons.
Communication from Dan Kukin regarding Headworks Upgrade Project Change Order Number 7. The value is $62,673. And I would move to accept, place on file, and approve Change Order Number 7 to the contract with T-Buck Construction in the amount of $62,673. Funds are available in Department 169 Wastewater State Revolving Loan Fund.
Discussion? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Alderman Clemmons.
Communication from Dan Kukin regarding SCADA upgrades project construction, value $591,280. I would move to accept, place on file, and award the contract to Electrical Installations Incorporated in the amount of $591,280. Source of funding is Department 169 Wastewater WRF.
Discussion? Alderman Karen.
Yes, thank you. Is this going to take place right away, or, I mean, the bid went out in August. Here we are in November. Is there going to be a delay on having that work done?
I believe it's planned as soon as
Just-
the contracts get
Yeah.
signed.
Okay.
The work
That's
will
all
get
I wanted to know.
underway.
This
Thank-
was approved by Public Works.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Alderman Clemmons.
Thank you. Communication from Dan Kukin regarding the digester cleaning project, CO1, value $48,400. I would move to accept, place on file, and approve change order number 1 to the contract with Denali Water Solutions in the amount of $48,400. Funds are available in Department 169 Wastewater.
Discussion? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Alderman Clemmons.
Yes, communication from Mayor Jim Donchis regarding the Park and Ride 25 Crown Street. I would move to accept and place on file.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Now, there was a communication, sorry.
Couple of
Have we
them.
got another one? There's one in our packet that's not on the agenda, I think, but there's also one on our desk. Is there a motion to suspend the rules
Yeah.
to accept communications after the agenda was prepared? Alderman Clemmons.
So moved.
And is there a motion to accept and place on file the communication from Tim Cummings dated November 2017?
You don't want to vote on the suspension first?
Oh, sorry. The parliamentarian has, the committee's parliamentarian has raised an issue, and of course, she's correct. So, is there a motion, excuse me, all those in favor of suspending the rules say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
So, that's the one I think you're
Yeah,
missing, right?
yeah.
Okay.
Make a motion
Yeah.
on one of the two.
So I would move to accept the communication received after the agenda from Jill Stansfield, Parking Operations Foreman, regarding parking department snow event responsibilities and parking garage roof deck management. And I would move to accept and place on file.
So there's a motion to accept and place on file the communication from Ms. Stansfield, which essentially says, follows up on the suggestion made by Alderman Clemmons, I think at the last meeting, that we would get the roofs of the parking garages plowed more quickly as part of the contract. Motion, Alderman Clemmons.
Well, I mean, the motion's to accept and place on file, but my question on this is, did we get a price of what that would be to add that? Because I didn't see that in the email that we
We did not.
received.
Just that we know we can add to it, but no, they haven't specifically had it quoted.
Okay. Did we pass that? Or did we tabled it?
No, it was passed.
I thought so.
Okay. Yeah, we passed the contract, but you wanted a report, so they're going to include it in the contract, is the bottom line. So motion was to accept and place on file.
So I guess my follow-up question is, because the communication was sort of ambiguous about whether or not we would be adding that to the contract. So can we expect to see a change order, I guess, or I guess that's what it would be, right? If,
I'll have to follow up on that. It sounded to me like they were going to try to deal with it, and if they couldn't do it appropriately, then they'd add on to the contract. But I don't think there was an intent to add on to it right now.
okay. Only because I understand what was said in the memo, which was, that during a snow event, they allow the businesses that pay for the uncovered portion to go down below. But I can tell you for a fact that it's a problem. And the fact that, the fact that it's not kept up with right after the storm or plowed the next day, early in the morning is really a problem for people who work downtown. Because it fills up with residents. And that's fine, and we should do that. But if we had the top plowed as a priority, I think it would just add more room for the people that come to work every day. So I would hope that we would see a change in that contract.
We're going to see a change. Now, whether we do need to do a change order, I'm not sure,
Okay.
But we will make sure that there's an improvement in that area.
Great, thank you.
Alderman Clemmons, is there a motion regarding the Cummings?
I don't think we
Communication.
voted on the last one.
Okay, the motion, sorry. The motion is to accept and place on file. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the motion carries.
Okay.
Is there a motion on the the Cummings?
Yes, communication from Tim Cummings, Director of Economic Development, regarding R-17-139, a request for an amendment. I would move to accept and place on file this communication.
Discussion? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Alderman Clemmons.
Unfinished business, we have none. Under new business resolutions, we have R-17-143, approving an amendment to the lease agreement with the Nashua Association for the Elderly. I would move to recommend final passage.
And the motion before you is to recommend final passage. This is the resolution that Mr. Barbera was addressing. We currently have David Fredette, City Treasurer, as our representative on the board, as well as Alderman Karen. Alderman Karen can probably explain it better than I, but the lease agreement provides that someone cannot serve more than 2 consecutive terms. We would like to leave Mr. Fredette at 2 terms. We'd like to leave him on the board, and therefore we'd like to amend the lease to enable someone who has experience to stay with that organization. Yes, Alderman Karen.
I think when the lease agreement was put together, I don't think the mayor had a 4-year term. So, you know, if you have someone that the mayor's office puts in place, they should be able to at least be there throughout that term. And if the mayor wants them, it doesn't affect anything. And if you look at it, not everybody being on the senior center board, for some people isn't important, but for others it is, you know. So I think that's what Mr. Barbera was trying to implement, that if you get good people on the board, you want to keep them there. So
And I don't really
think
see the
that's-
reason why,
it was even in there.
yeah, why a limitation would really be there. And it's 3 consecutive 2-year terms anyway, not 2,
Right.
but we'd like to delete that so Mr. Fredette can continue to serve. Alderman Clemmons.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think the term limits on boards like this make any sense at all. You get good people in a position, you need to keep them there. And so I agree with this 100%.
Any other discussion? So the motion is to recommend final passage of the resolution. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes, and the resolution is recommended for final passage. Next, we have new business ordinances, none. Thank you, Mr. Barbera. We have communications tabled in committee. We have 1 communication, Alderman Clemmons.
I would move to take from the table the communication regarding the purchase of 2 replacement trade vehicles and the portable compressor.
All those in favor of the, excuse me. Yes, all those in favor of the motion to take from the table, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the resolution is before us. Alderman Clemmons.
This is a communication from Dan Kuchen regarding the purchase of 2 replacement trade vehicles and the portable compressor for value $114,394. I would move to accept, place on file, and authorize the purchase from Grapponi Automotive Group in the amount of $114,394. Funds are available in Department 191, School, SURF.
Discussion? Alderman Karen.
I think this was tabled, I was trying to look at my notes, just to verify the year of the trade-in vehicles? Was that?
And we didn't have a trade-in value assigned on the original paperwork. It was submitted, and now we do.
Okay, thank you.
Any other discussion? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the resolution, the purchase is approved. Resolutions, Alderman Clemmons.
Yes, I would move to take from the table Resolution 17-139.
All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the motion passes, and R 17-139 is before us. For the record, we should note that Alderman Cookson has joined the meeting.
Thank you.
Is there a motion with respect to R 17-139? Alderman
Yes,
Clemmons.
I would move to amend R 17-139 by replacing it with the proposed amendment placed on our desks this evening.
And attached to the Cummings memorandum.
Yes.
Is there a discussion on the motion to amend?
Difference in language?
The difference is that the lease as drafted asks for a rent of $250 a month, and this is for the antenna for WSMN. which is now housed in the NIMCO building. As Mr. Cummings has recommended, Mr. Cummings has recommended that this is a downtown business that is in transition. There was a change in ownership. They're switching locations from their current location on Main Street to a very visible corner location at East Pearl and Main in the Masonic Building. And he's recommending that we grant them the lease for $1 as opposed to $250 a month. And that's the substance of the amendment.
So is the, Mr. Mayor,
Yes,
Thank
Alderman
you.
Cookson.
so is the lease agreement with the new ownership?
Yes,
So they're still being called Absolute Broadcasting LLC?
yes.
Okay.
So they bought the business is basically what happened.
So it's a 2-year term, $1 per year.
Correct.
Thank you.
Other discussion, questions? Motion before you is the motion to amend. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the motion passes.
And
Alderman Clemmons.
I would move to recommend final passage as amended.
Motion by Alderman Clemmons to recommend R 17-139 for final passage as amended. Discussion? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes, and R 17-139 is recommended for final passage. Next item is the record of expenditures. Alderman Clemmons.
I would move that the Finance Committee has complied with the city charter and ordinances pertaining to the record of expenditures for the periods October 13th, 2017 to October 26th, 2017, and October 27th, 2017 to November 9th, 2017.
Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the record of expenditures is approved. Next, we have public comment. There doesn't appear to be anyone in the public who wishes to speak to the committee. Discussion items. Do any members of the committee have any issues you would like to discuss? We do not have any non-public session. Alderman Wilshire.
Motion to adjourn.
All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the motion, the meeting is adjourned at 7:24 PM.